The Nintendo Switch has a massive library, as you can see in the shelf right in front of me. However, I have this little case here, so if I could only pick 4 games to carry with me, which ones would I pick? Keep in mind, no Nintendo Switch 2 game will be in this list because there's literally only 2 exclusives as of right now. But starting off, we're going to be going with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Now yes, this game has been discontinued, but it has not 1, not 2, but 3 of the best 3D Mario games. If you manage to pick one of these up back in the day, then you're in luck. However, if you have to buy this thing used, then it's still worth it for the money. If you've never played any of these, you're missing out, so this definitely earns my first spot. Coming in the second spot, we're gonna have to go with Link's Awakening here. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are very good games, however, they are so long, the replayability is kind of not really there. Once I beat those games, I'm sitting out of it for a minute. Link's Awakening is more of a traditional Zelda game, however, the story on this is very sad. If you ever played this, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. The amount of hours I've spent playing this was just ridiculous, and I highly recommend you play this if you haven't already. So this gets my second spot. And coming in third, do I really have to say it? You kind of knew it was already on this list. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Not only does it have 96 different tracks with the DLC, but it also has a bunch of players to pick from, and you can play up to 4 different players. The amount of content packed in this thing is just incredible, and the replayability is insane, so this definitely earns my third spot in this list. Honorable mention, we're gonna have to go with WarioWare Get It Together, mainly because WarioWare Move It requires the motion controls, and in this case, if you're traveling, I don't think you're going to be wanting to do those moves when you're out in public. But of course, this list has to have a Pokemon game, right? But which one would I go for? Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were remakes of the 4th generation games. Not much was added onto this. They did change the way that the characters looked and everything. However, I feel like it got too much hate back in the day. I personally went with Chimchar in this game. But before we pick, let's see what the other ones also have to offer. As for Sword and Shield, they added the Gigantamax, which, not gonna lie, it was alright. The starters in this game though were not memorable at all. I personally just played up until the point where you can get a Charmander early in the game, and I beat the game in a week using Charizard. As for the newest generation, we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now these games are a little bit different because you technically have 3 different paths you can take during the story. As for the starters, I personally went with Fuecoco. However, even though the games are pretty good, they're very glitchy, so they just don't make the cut. So personally, I'm gonna have to go with Brilliant Diamond on this one. But wait, there's more. We can technically have a 5th game in the cartridge slot. So for the bonus spot, I'm gonna have to give this to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Not only do you have a bunch of different playable characters in this, but literally up to 8 different players can play at the same exact time, and everyone is here. But let me know in the comment section below, if you could only pick 4 games, which ones would you pick?